This week's View will deal at ground zero on the crucibles of conformity that many of our colleges and universities have become. I was recently reading an editorial by George F. Will, a syndicated columnist for the Washington Post, on this very subject. He writes of a tenured college professor, Gordon Klein, who teaches at the UCLA Anderson School of Management, and for 40 years of teaching, consistently received high reviews by his students. In this alarming story, Klein received an email on June 2, 2020, from one of his students, which stated, quoting, "We are writing to express our tremendous concern concerning the upcoming final exam that would injure the mental and physical health of our black classmates due to the traumatic circumstances concerning the death of George Floyd, placing black students at an academic disadvantage," end quote. The student writer concluded that Professor Klein's final exam should only count if it elevated a student's grade. Professor Klein, who was also a lawyer, emailed back that he would not know how to identify black students because the class was conducted entirely online, and there is no way there can be a no-harm final exam when that exam would entirely determine a student's grade. A reasonable response. However, online, a virtual mob of social justice warriors formed, and citing Klein's insensitive, dismissive, and woefully racist response, demanded that he be fired. In a June 4th email, the dean of the Anderson School of Management, Antonio Bernardo, said Professor Klein's email was, quote, "an abuse of power in disregard for our core principles." Unbelievably, Klein was suspended from teaching and banned from campus. Professor Klein immediately filed a lawsuit. I will now quote directly from George Will's editorial. Begin quote, "Enforced conformity in the name of diversity, exclusion of intellectual heterodoxy to make campus inclusive, Orwellian language spoken in academia." UCLA Dean Antonio Bernardo took center stage against Professor Klein to preen about sensitivity, epitomizing the invertebrate academic bureaucrats who, oozing wokeness from every pore, pander to student mobs clamoring for the unethical. Doubling down, the Faculty Executive Committee tweeted that, quote, "We apologize to the student who received Klein's email and to all those students who have been upset and offended by it as we are ourselves." Klein's lawsuit is the good news from this disgrace. And although the internet is not capacious enough for even a catalog of academics' craven capitulation to mobs, the UCLA case merits special attention because some individuals, starting with Bernardo, might be held accountable for their malicious violation of rights, as well as academic conformity enforcers like him that are fluent in woke speak and engage in cost-free virtue signaling at others' expense. Now, however, such disagreeable people on campus everywhere are on notice they might be liable for the denials of constitutional rights.